Welcome back to The Vocalist. Today we are listening to the band Scandal. This is the official video for the song The Warrior featuring Patti Smith. Here we go. I am speechless. What a gorgeous voice she has. I'm curious to know if she's in another band or just the fact that it says featuring Patti Smith. I don't know anything about her. Oh, okay. It says she gained national attention as the lead vocalist of rock band Scandal. Okay. So, yeah, okay. I'm trying to separate what I'm watching with what I'm hearing, but also not, because I do think they fit very well together. We're going back to the beginning. You can hear the most beautiful mix as she ascended into that, I don't know, slight melodic pattern. I was going to call it a riff, but I would say it's a little too slow for that. So we're starting out in this beautiful, warm, open chest voice. And then you can hear just the slightest thinning, more incorporation of head voice in that sound, but it's still very full, very powerful, very pressed. I would still call it a chest dominant mix, but you can hear more of the mixing there. What an interesting sound. It's a little pouty. And it's so velvety. Let me get that. Run away. And then the following words, like run away, are very speech-like. I'll play it through this. She kind of goes back and forth between something that sounds very youthful and something that has more maturity to it. Sorry, I have to hear it again. It's your heart that you betray. There is a slight shift in some of the vowels that is causing this back and forth. Last time. It's almost as if the the words that are shorter rhythmically, those become more speech-like, and then when she gets to sustained tone, it's easier for her to incorporate more space.
I bet you're not so civilized. Well, isn't love primitive? A wild gift that you wanna give.
Here, until the very end, when she's saying give, we heard more press in the sound. It had this really nice, firm, adducted quality. And then she let that go toward the end and gave that slightly more velvety texture.
Break out of captivity and follow me, a stereo jungle child. Love is the kill, your heart's still wild. Shooting at the walls of heartache. Bang, bang, I am the warrior. Well, I am the warrior. And heart to win if you survive. The warrior. You
I love that this is in such a great place in her range to where we're getting so much chest voice. Even as she ascends, it's not so high that she has to mix a lot. Like, it's all very chest dominant. And so it just feels very powerful. A little shouty, but in a good way, like projected. And it's so full. And I mean, great vocals for anything. I would call this kind of an anthem. And I am surprised by her vocals just because they have similar qualities to other female vocalists of the time, but I can't put my finger on it. I don't know if it's that youthful sound. I don't know if it's the back and forth with texture or maybe the punchiness of it, but it's special. And I have to say, I just love that they're incorporating dancers in this video. I don't know the trajectory of the story and how it's going to unfold, but we need more of that. We need, I think the arts should always support the arts. And so whenever you have the opportunity to involve more art forms, yes, I love it.
talk to me. Your eyes touch me physically. Stay with me. We'll take the night as passion takes another bite. Oh, who's the hunter? Who's the game? I feel the beat. Call your name. I'll hold you close. Victory. I don't wanna tame your animal style. You won't be caged from the cold wild. Shooting at the walls of
This is a masterpiece. I'm so involved in what's happening on the screen, but her vocals are just, the song, it's captivating. I loved I'll call it costume change as her makeup and her look intensified.
I don't wanna tame your animal style.
I don't want to tame your animal style. We've got these nice glottals. And so it's giving this really nice speech-like quality.
Won't be caged from the cold wild.
Then wild, I feel like we got just a little added texture compared to what we were hearing previously. So that velvety, warm, lush sound became a little grittier, a little edgier on wild.
Animal style. You won't be caged from the cold wild. Shooting at the walls of heartache. Bang, bang. I am the warrior. Well, I am the warrior. And heart to win. If you survive. The warrior. The warrior.
such a satisfying belt on that A vowel. It's so full, and I love the use of straight tone because, again, it just kind of helps to add this kind of restraint that you're always sort of wondering or maybe suspense, not restraint, but you're always wondering, is vibrato going to follow? Ooh, the way she sings Heart, again, we're getting more of a mix, but it's such a thrilling mix. As far as songwriting goes, having that high note on the word heart is brilliant because as you ascend, a lot of singers sort of over tighten, or we get too much press, and so then you can develop tension, or the notes feel almost like they're hitting a wall. And so if you can put air into it, sometimes, as an exercise, you might sigh through a note, but in this case, that H will naturally help create more air and more airflow. So obviously, I think she would sing this note brilliantly without this particular word, but I like what it's doing for her here. The other thing I really appreciate is combination of phrasing and control. She just gets done singing these gorgeous high notes, and then as she comes down to if you survive, it's still just as present as what we heard on the top. And obviously when we go lower, typically dynamics decrease. We have a lower volume as well when we're singing lower pitches. And that didn't happen. And so it's a really great example of both breath utilization and control in dexterity in the vocal cords, because it would be very easy to sort of oversing those bottom notes and then they'd be a little wavery or a little pitchy, and that's not happening. And granted, I mentioned phrasing as well because I'm not hearing really big gaspy breaths. She could very well be breathing and just, got away from the mic in the studio when that happened, but either way, it just sounds so seamless throughout that whole phrase. One other really smart thing that she did there is she sang survive and really allowed a decent amount of spread on that. Instead of survive, she created a bigger opening to handle all of the pressure that she was releasing on that note. And I think that's really smart. There are moments where we have to contain that, but I think it really helped with her intonation here. Because instantly you can hear the shift in tone and how it's a little darker, a little warmer as she sang the warrior and allowed those vowels to be taller. I really enjoy her voice. I did a quick search and it looks like she was in her late 20s when this song came out, so the youthfulness I was referring to could just be actual youth. Even so, I think knowing actually that she was in her 20s sort of makes the richness and the warmth that much more exciting. I will definitely be looking for more of her songs or their songs. It looked like she also, after Scandal, did some solo work, so I'm looking forward to going down that rabbit hole. But that is it for today. Thank you guys so much for this recommendation and for watching with me, and hopefully I will see you next time.